Have you ever felt like someone is controlling you? Like you're completely powerless? Well, what if I told you that you're not alone in this? Yes, I'm sure it gets tiring being unsure of your decisions all the time, but it's high time you took back control of your life. And we're here to help you do that. Are you eager to know how? In today's video, we're going to hit you with some familiar mind games and show you how to protect yourself when you're being exploited. Number 5. Narcissistic behavior. One of the most common forms of mental manipulation is narcissistic abuse. As per a study from the International Society of Political Psychology, narcissists tend to resort to mind games for egotistical purposes. Now, narcissism is a well-defined spectrum, like it exists on so many levels. Narcissists often showcase self-centered actions. They tend to make themselves visible by not letting the other person talk. While having a conversation with a narcissist, you may feel like you're not being heard or that you're not being given enough importance. Some therapists use mind mirroring to connect and empathize with their clients. Well, narcissists use the same technique, just not for the same purpose. They try to direct their behavior as per your actions, but due to their lack of ability to feel emotions, they often replace abuse with affection, which gets suffocating at some point. As per the American Psychological Association, this is usually because of a brain cell named mirror neuron. What they do is that these neurons direct us to respond equally when we see someone perform any activity. If you've ever fallen victim to someone's narcissistic behavior, you might have noticed that somehow you always end up going back to them. And that is precisely what they use to exploit your mental health. A way to get back control over yourself is healing yourself by maintaining a distance from them. You need your own space to feel better. Narcissists tend to use your vulnerabilities to attack you, so it would be best if you cut off all contact with them. And I know that can be hard, but you have to prioritize yourself. You can ask someone else to read their messages for you. This way, you can get your clarity while not making direct contact with them. Number 4. Love bombing. Some people present themselves as extremely caring and loving at initial interactions. They bait you with their charming behavior, and once the relationship goes to a deeper level and they feel like you're under their emotional game, they use their anger to control you. And even when you want to stop your suffering, they gaslight you into thinking that they are the victim. Such people can manipulate you into questioning your own actions. You might end up thinking that everything was your fault. They make you feel like they are the ones who are helping you to stay sane, and at one point, you end up being dependent on them. You might get tired and end up having a breakdown, but they use that vulnerability to show their care towards you. Of course, in such situations, we grasp on whatever love we're receiving, and this is how they trap you inside their game. It all becomes a pattern. But you can end this cycle by watching out for yourself. You can talk to them openly and tell them that you feel like your feelings are disregarded, but it's highly likely that they will make it about themselves. They might convince you with their loving words. So what you can do is either address their mind games openly or just ignore the person. Such people think of you as a weak person, and they don't expect you to be aware of their games, so asking them openly about their actions could come off as a shock to them. You can clearly tell them that you are not going to be their victim and that you are aware of what they are trying to do. It is less likely for them to continue their manipulation once they're called out. Love bombing is not part of romantic relationships only. In fact, it is pretty common among parental relations and even friendships as well. So, setting a boundary at the very start is the best way to protect yourself. You have to let them know that there will be consequences if they defy your boundaries. Number 3. Fluctuating behavior. Have you ever caught someone behaving entirely differently once they are in public? Some people may project affection when they are alone, but their behavior does a complete 180 when they are in public. They might end up looking down on you in public to make you question yourself and intentionally bring down your confidence. Such people thrive on belittling others. If you are stuck in a scenario like this, you have to assess the situation carefully. Let them know that you are not dependent on them. Start leaning towards your family and trusted friends. You will naturally get distant from them once you make a strong connection with the people that you trust and who actually love you. Number 2, making a joke out of your feelings. It hurts when people make a joke out of your emotions and put you down for your valid feelings. This sign can be very subtle, but you have to gauge the scenario carefully. Such people show their real feelings amidst jokes and sarcasm, so you have to be attentive to what they're saying. Words are their most powerful weapon. They know exactly what to say to convince you. If you're having a conversation with someone and they're constantly putting you down, even if it's joking, it is possible that they are trying to make you feel bad about yourself. You may not want to question them, thinking that they are kidding, but you have to trust your instincts. If you feel that someone is manipulating you, it doesn't matter that they're joking. Rely on your gut feeling and protect yourself from them. You should not disagree with them clearly because they are good at twisting their words to their own benefit, and they can easily manipulate you with emotional talk. But this becomes a continuous cycle where you're just stuck with them. So you should take a step back quietly and set your boundaries without thinking about what they have to say about this. Number 1, silent treatment. This is something people frequently use to get what they want. Silent treatment, or as some people say, stonewalling, is a passive-aggressive form of abuse. It is often used in marital affairs by parents or even by friends. However, as common as it may be, it is one of the most toxic behaviors to use against your loved ones. It can leave the other person feeling insecure and isolated in the relationship. Communication is the key to getting a hold of your relationships. It is always advised to communicate in a healthy way to overcome your problems. But emotional exploiters tend to lean towards silent treatment when they feel like the situation is not in their control. This is how they make you a pawn in their game. You may feel the constant need to talk to them or to clarify yourself once they've started the silent treatment, and that is exactly what they want. They usually do this to make sure you feel responsible for what they may have done. This is their form of control. If you're on the receiving side of silent treatment, you have to stay calm. If you feel like it was your mistake, then you need to communicate clearly. But if they are still using it as a punishment against you, you have to know that you've done nothing wrong. It can be isolating when you're being treated like this, so it's very important to reach out to someone who can support you to cope with the stress. Such behaviors are often a result of deep-rooted trauma, but you have to know that you are not responsible for their behaviors. You may support them emotionally, but you cannot be their therapist. Such people use their trauma to excuse their actions, but remember one thing: trauma may explain behavior, but it doesn't excuse it. If they genuinely care about you, or even themselves, it is their responsibility to seek professional help for their actions. As a victim, you may have been mentally exploited to the extent that you doubt yourself at every step, so it is essential for you as well to seek help if you need to. So that was all for today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.